Good morning. It's Mike Schucke at Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shifton Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona. Friday morning market chat live. We're going to talk about residential. We're going to talk about commercial. We're going to talk about the economy a little bit. Real quick, inventory, multiple listing service was down this week. Quite a bit, actually, in the Phoenix area. Scottsdale dropped another 32 single-family detached homes. Remember, we look at that because that's a more stable number. But a little drop in inventory. We've seen a lot of houses start to come off for the summer. Everybody thinks Arizona dies in the summer, but it keeps moving, the past few years especially. But I had some numbers. I had a lot of April statistics come out this week, and I noticed, you see the headlines like I always say, comparing Scottsdale to the city of Phoenix. Scottsdale closed just over 8% more properties, single-family detached homes, than last April of 2025. City of Phoenix, 4% more. But what was interesting is the pending home sales for the month of April. Scottsdale was up almost 2% pending home sales. The city of Phoenix, pending home sales, single-family detached homes, was down 34%. That's significant. So does that tell us that in the city of Phoenix, people are kind of holding back now, getting ready for the summer there? Scottsdale keeps rolling along. And remember, closed sales is people that were looking at homes 1 to 2 months ago. Pending sales is more current. That's right now. Getting those homes under contract. And I always say statistics tell us where we've been, not where we're going. But so details matter. Look into what the parameters are and what the article's talking about. What you're hearing on the news. The news, you hear the national numbers. What the national numbers say is not what's actually happening in your neighborhood. If you want to know what's happening in your neighborhood, give us a shout. We'll help you out there. Another interesting thing, I was in a meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday, a luxury group, pricing homes and things like that. And you really have to be strong with your sellers. A lot of agents will take listings, but the $3 to $5 million range, there were 27 or 28% more sales in April in the Scottsdale, actually in the Phoenix Metro area, mainly Scottsdale and Paradise Valley. 28% more home sales in the $3 to $5 million range. Again, it was like 25% in the 5 to 7 million, but over $10 million in the Arizona multiple listing service. Homes sold in April over $10 million was up 178%. Already beat last year's all of the sales for 2025. Now are hey Mary, up 178%. So there's a lot of $10 million homes out there, and there's a lot of money coming to Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Arizona in general. What did I see? Jeff Bezos is leaving Seattle, secretly moved to Miami. He's going to save $1 billion a year. That's a shitload of money to be saving on taxes. So anyway, it makes a difference. There's a lot of money coming for tax reasons, and we see that on the residential and the commercial side. And my role in whether we're buying, I'm representing you as a buyer or a seller, is just to give you the facts. You might not always like what I have to say, but I'm going to tell you what's out there, and it's interesting. Buyers these days, they've got to miss out on 1 or 2 properties. They do. It's just part of the procedures. They see the headlines, they see the Zillow, the Realtor.com, they make an offer and they come up short. You really have to miss out 1 or 2 properties. And if you're selling your house, you can't test the market because they're going to forget about your house when they start learning after the second or third or fourth offer on the property. They're going to miss it. They're going to forget that your house was out there. So you've got 30 days to get the most eyes on your property. And it's the way it is. You know, you got to miss out on 1 or 2 properties as a buyer. Not so much as, 2021, they were missing out on 10, 15 houses when they were getting 50 offers on a property. But it's a learning experience, and you and I are getting to know each other, the relationship. Let's see if we can work. It takes people a while, so people don't trust real estate agents, but it's a learning thing. I'm here to help you get you where you want to be, not to sell you something. So anyway, we're heading, it's Memorial Day weekend, so it's going to be interesting to see, people, a lot of homes coming off the market now, but buyers are still here. People think Scottsdale is a party town. It's a pretty family-oriented community, especially as we move north Scottsdale, the area we're concentrated in. I see a lot of DC Ranch and Silverleaf. people are coming to the area more full time. So as their kids are out of school, they're here shopping for homes. And I talked to a lot of people that move here in June. I moved here on, I think it was a June 15th. We arrived long time, 12 years ago, June 15th. So a lot of people come here with families in June. So if you're going to take your house off the market, you might get missed. And we're going to see that in the statistics. We're going to see a quick little bump into a seller's market as supply goes down, but demand stays level. So it's just give and take. So keep your house on the market. The buyers are here. People are shopping for homes. They're being more picky. It's got to be perfect. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to lift a finger when they move in. But I thought that was interesting. So housing prices up, what I see the other day, housing prices are up 60% in the Phoenix area over the last 6 years. I looked back. Between 1977 and 1983, housing prices rose 75%. So, we have a lot more information now. Everything's instant gratification now. But you look back, you see this market's pretty normal. We're in a pretty normal market. And I was in another meeting the other day, and people were saying, I was going to leave this to the end, but is it a good time? Is it a good market? Is it a bad market? It really depends. What are you looking for? What location? What's your price point? What's your motivation to buy or sell? So every deal's different. I say that all the time. It's a good time to buy or sell is when you're ready. That's really what it comes down to. I was in Desert Highlands yesterday up North Scottsdale. Real neat property. 5.2 million. And it's neat. And it got me thinking driving into Desert Highlands is off Happy Valley Road. North Scottsdale it's a very, very nice community. Was always older residents. It's a golf community, popular tennis community. But I think driving in there, there was a lot of construction, a lot of remodeling. And a lot of younger buyers are moving in there. I think there's some good deals in there for your money. It's beautiful. And as I said, that North Scottsdale, center of Scottsdale is moving north, and north. So I get a lot of calls for DC Ranch and Silverleaf in that area and this Via Linda Shea Boulevard, just because that's where I am. I try to stay close to home. But if you're looking in DC Ranch, maybe go up and look at Desert Highlands. It's a great community, and it's becoming younger, more families, and I think you get a lot more for your money there. You don't get to hit Pro V1s on the practice tee like you do at Silverleaf, but it's a very nice course, very nice community, right at the base of Pinnacle Peak. So anyway, commercial. Retail's moving. Retail spaces, small shopping malls are moving. It's real strong. Deals are getting done. It all comes down to financing on commercial real estate. And as interest rates, I don't even want to say that they're a little bit high, because historically interest rates are what they are. There's nothing you can really do about it. And historically they're not bad. But as interest rates are in a higher environment, lending, the underwriting of those deals really tightens up. And you really got to sharpen your pencil. There's less room for error for the investors on those small mom and pop strip malls. I think they're a great investment still, but you got to make the numbers work. You got to have your financing ready, and not just your financing to buy, but to hold and operate them. Holding a small strip center costs a lot of money. It's expensive. I'll put you in touch with somebody with a story about that. But there's some tighter lending margins in commercial. Commercial's rolling along. And it doesn't really take off. The only reason commercial slows down in Arizona for the summer is because a lot of people leave. They head to Southern California for beach house and come back and forth. Us too. Occasionally we go back and see our kids and come back and forth. But Motorola Superfund sounds. I always say there's always a solution. Motorola has a Superfund site. That means the ground was completely contaminated. Never thought you could build on it again. Over in 52nd Street in Phoenix. There's an application now. Now the numbers make sense where they can come in and remediate those soils. And I know about remediating soils from a property we had on Long Island. It can cost you some money. But now the real estate value has increased enough. It makes sense for a company to come in, remediate those soils, and develop that property. There's always a solution. You just got to think out of the box. Mesa, the Cannon Beach Surf Park, they put an application in there to go 5 stories, I think. They want to exceed the height limit down in Mesa. But and I always say pay attention where the hotels go, because that's where the people are going. Gilbert approved a Target. The community's not real happy about it, but Target does a lot of homework. They know where the people are going. Cardinals training facility, not Banner Health, not Honor Health. It was Dignity Health announced they're going to put a 300,000 square foot health center there. And everybody thinks Scottsdale Road and 101, the northwest corner. It's not just the training. The Cardinals training facility is 30 acres out of 217 acres there. That's going to be a whole mixed use development. And it's state land right now. But actually the Cardinal owner, I don't know. Well, I don't know what I was going to say there. But yeah, that's that Scottsdale moving up again. So that's interesting. What else do we have? I just want to say these projects don't happen overnight. They've been in the planning process for a long time. So if you're looking to do a project, no, it's going to take some time. We sold a building to Murphy over at AMOAZ 53rd and Bell. He bought the whole shopping center because it made sense for his business to get the income from the other units. Finally got his architectural and plannings done there. So they're moving on. We closed on that. Actually, New Year's Eve, that was a good story. New Year's Eve, we closed on that building for him. And it was, if it didn't close New Year's Eve of 2024, it wasn't going to happen. But we got it done. Everybody stuck around, and it was a big deal. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, I just want to say this planning and zoning on the commercial end, it takes time. And, so plan ahead for that. And that, I was going to say, those carrying costs add up real quick. Economy. This economy is good. It's in positive growth mode. It really has taken on a lot of political influence, whether people think it's good or bad. And people are so separated right now. You know where I stand. If that matters to you, maybe we shouldn't work together. But anyway, the economy's rolling along. It's doing good. We have great GDP. We've got, some inflation out there. 10-year treasury yield for this week, it hit its highest thing. People want to talk about the Middle East and up and down with the bonds and the oil prices. The United States is the largest producer of petroleum. We don't really rely on the oil that it goes over there. However, oil is priced globally. Globally, interest rates around the world are pretty high. They have not been increasing as aggressively in the United States as they have in other places like Japan. Japan's got interest rates again. They had zero interest rates forever. United Kingdom, Britain. So when this whole resolution comes about, whenever it finally does and they stop making these announcements, the United States, people are expecting rates to drop, oil prices to drop. Oil prices will because it's global. But I don't think interest rates are really going to drop. But that's just my opinion. You can make a case for who was David Zervos and Rick Santelli had a good conversation the other day on CNBC. And they both made very valid points. Are rates going up? Are rates going down? And they both made very valid points. So nobody knows. If somebody tells you that rates are going to drop later in the year, run away. If they tell you they're going to rise, run away. No, nobody knows. But it's mixed. It's all mixed. December, we got the Fed rate, the Fed minutes from the April Fed meeting, and they say we still have inflation out there. Things are expensive, and they cannot. When they lower rates, it's like stepping on the gas pedal. When they raise rates, it's like stepping on the brake. It's not all about the interest rate. It's putting fuel on the fire in the economy or pulling it away. And that's the Fed's job. We've got Kevin Warsh. He's the new Fed chairman. He's being sworn in today. And again, I think people are putting too much weight on one person. The Federal Reserve Bank is a committee of 12 people. One man doesn't make a market. I thought that was pretty bright. I heard that the other day. One man does not make it a market. So, we'll see. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So just roll along, focus on you, focus on what you can do. Memorial Day weekend, when you're out celebrating, I wanted to touch real quick. When you're out with your family or whatever, celebrating, enjoying, just take a minute, step back a minute and remember those that lost their lives to protect us and allow us to do what we do and go through every day. And, I have much respect for the military out there. It's awesome. Anyway, if I can help you buy or sell real estate, residential, commercial, land, or investment property, give me a shout. 203-733-5877. Berkshire Hathaway, Arizona Properties, Scottsdale. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Be smart, be safe, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.